Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, first question, and this was asked by Robert. Will you ever do training at a cheaper price that doesn't take as much time out of your week? For example, for certain individuals who you can determine to be trustworthy and disciplined enough to report their numbers, weak points, form, etc. accurately, who can't video chat consistently. Now it turned out, Robert there, his situation is that he's active duty, he's stationed abroad. And I actually explained to him, a lot of people don't know this because I don't offer it as an official service, as a minor service I discuss, is that I do both 1-hour consultations and I do custom programs for people. I just don't advertise it per se. But a person, as I open those up, could basically custom tailor those things as they need. Because my coaching service itself offers 2 1-hour Skypes every month. Full training programming updated regularly and real-time questions. So they have access to me every day to answer questions. Okay, that's a pretty deep time commitment on my part to make available to people. But I actually do sell for people who want custom programming. If they can provide me the information they need, I write 12-week programs for people. And actually, Robert ended up buying one. This individual ended up seeing what I offered, and he bought a program, and I had it ready for him within a couple days. And so, I mean, I do like 12-week custom programs for a fraction of what I charge for coaching, because a program is not coaching. That's not the same thing. And the same thing, I do 1-hour Skype consultations as one-offs for people. So if a person basically just wanted to buy a program and then check in with me once a week, they could just buy individual consultations for 1-hour blocks, right? Like once a month if they just wanted to get in front of a camera, but they wouldn't have real-time questions, because my clients actually have me available for questions every day. But yeah, I mean, I offer these different services. It's just that they're not coaching, and people need to understand the difference. Coaching is a real-time, you have me available to answer your questions. We go over your form, your technique, your weaknesses. It's full programming. It's regular Skype calls. That's coaching. Coaching is not writing you a program. Okay, that's just writing you a program. And I charge like $150 to write a 12-week program. I charge $250 a month to coach people. But, you know, again, it's a question of what someone needs. But like I always tell people, if they buy a program, I'm not available for questions. You know, you're not going to get Skype time. You're not going to get Messenger or me answering your personal questions, because that's a coaching relationship at that point. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that. And people could actually take advantage of those individual services, and then they buy as needed. And yeah, I offer those things. Not really a big deal. And he took advantage of that. So for people curious, yeah, I mean, these are different levels of service that I offer through the business. But I'll make those more available in an official capacity next year, perhaps. All right, next question. Hi, Jason. I'm a 42-year-old male, 214 pounds with a 38-inch waist. I'm currently on 2,000 calories a day in order to get down to 180 pounds, as that is the weight I always felt the most comfortable at, since my calories are so low, and I agree that is very low. I take a daily walk of 30 to 45 minutes every day and train an AB push-pull 3 times a week. 3 compounds per session for 3 sets. I think that would be okay just to maintain the most muscle mass possible during the cut. Once I'm down to 180, what would recomp strategy be? Thank you. All right, brother, what I would say to you is once you're down to that body weight, what you need to be focusing on is getting your workload, your work capacity, and your energy turnover as high as possible. Right? I mean, use me as a perfect example. Now, I didn't cut on calories that low. My calories were at least 1,000 higher than yours, literally, for me to drop down to the 215 from 255. Well, look at what I do to recomp, and this is the same thing I recommend to people, recommend to clients. Well, the first thing I would say is that as soon as you finish your cut, you need to start doing conditioning. Don't worry about the daily walks. Start getting Metcon work in, at least Metcon once or twice a week. Do real conditioning work. You need to get on a real structured program in which you progress on the volume. Because recomposition, the best way to recomposition is to get your total energy turnover as high as possible through as much adaptative stress as possible that you can recover from, and that requires you to build work capacity. Okay? You need to take your calories as high as possible. In other words, the most effective strategies for recomposition is going to be the person who can stimulate the most muscle growth, the most adaptation, and eat the most calories without their scale weight going up. So if you end up getting on training that's optimized and you end up pushing your energy turnover 500 or 600 calories higher than where it would be, say, on just your upper lower AB split and a little walking, you're going to have the potential for more muscle mass gain even at maintenance calories. And the more anabolic of an environment you create at even close to maintenance calories, and again, that involves getting more food in, higher quality nutrition, a larger anabolic response from the food, less chance of nutritional deficiencies, right? By doing these things, we create the most muscle growth possible. Well, if you're gaining the most muscle possible while staying at roughly the same body weight, you're also losing the most fat possible, okay? And that's the whole point with recomposition. That's the point with recomposition. You need to be looking at in terms of how high can I raise my maintenance calories? How high can I get my maintenance calories up to? Because again, more activity, particularly if you can bring up anabolic activity, right? Resistance training, Metcon, things that can stimulate muscle growth. The higher you can take those while still recovering from it, and that's a gradual process, means you're going to eat more food. More food equals more recovery. It's so that the things feed into each other. All right, there's a synergy between the two. They feed each other because more food equals better adaptation, faster muscle growth, better improvements in work capacity, more recovery, more anabolic hormones, everything. There's a synergy created. And that's how we recomposition effectively. Recomposition isn't about can I just stimulate minimal muscle growth and drop calories as low as possible and try to maintain. That's a strategy a lot of guys use, and I've tried to promote that in the past. I've realized in my old age and semi-wisdom, I'm starting to become maybe a little bit wise, hopefully. I don't think I'm quite there yet. Got a ways to go. I've come to realize that this strategy is just better all the way around for better results, better fitness, better health, making us better people and better athletes. That's the strategy that works. All right, next question and last question of the week. Hi Coach, I've learned so much about proper training and nutrition from watching your videos, so many thanks to you for that, and I've been bulking successfully with high protein and whole foods such as GOMAD, a pound of beef, 6 whole eggs, 4 potatoes, and some spinach. Damn son. I eat the same thing every day and have been making great gains in strength and size. My question is, if I continue to eat the same diet every day, would my caloric surplus eventually become my maintenance calories? And if I eventually want to cut weight, I could just reduce the amount of some of these foods to keep it simple, right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the beauty of using a strategy like that to where we bring energy intake way up. Okay, and that's what I've brought up to people too. Of like, I've got my own energy turnover so high that I'm at 4,000 plus calorie maintenance. Okay. Now, at one time, my maintenance was like 3,500. My maintenance calories are up over 500 this year. Well, when you do that, think of it in this terms. Cutting brings your energy turnover down. You're not cutting. You're continually bringing energy intake up, slowly over time, even if it's only adding 100 calories to your maintenance every couple months, because you're improving strength, muscle mass, work capacity. Yeah, so eventually you can reach to a point to where if you're lean bulking and you keep bringing up intake, your lean bulk calories will turn into maintenance. Then you recomp for a while. But when you have a really high energy turnover from a huge amount of whole food, and you do say, hey, I need to drop 5 pounds of body fat, it's really easy, isn't it? Why? Because when you bring your maintenance calories up to 3,500 and you want to lose a pound a week, all you have to do is cut down to 3,000. You could do 4 to 5, 6 weeks at a small maintenance, strip body fat off, and then go in and ease it right back up. It's when people want to cut fast. It's when they say, I want to drop 2 pounds of fat every week. They crash their energy turnover. They crash these anabolic responses. They crash their work capacity. By doing it the way you're doing it, we bring up total work capacity and we keep it there. So that when you do need to trim down later, you do little small amounts of fat loss. And bam, it just drops down, and then you can go right back into the high energy turnover. Okay, that's a viable strategy for athletes. That's the difference between athletes and bodybuilders. People who are chasing the physique thing all the time, they're all about doing the cuts, and then they end up dropping their total energy turnover down. That's why these guys have 2,500 calorie maintenance calories. Whereas in an athlete, you're going to have 3,500, 4,000, 5,000. if you're training and eating in this way, even if you're not gaining much fat or no fat. And that's a difference, and that makes cutting easy. That's why athletes have no trouble getting leaner when they need to. They don't have to do deep cuts. There's just no point. Because if you're not trying to get ripped anyways, why would you ever care? You're just trying to drop a few pounds of fat. It's a totally viable strategy, and it works. And it's worked for every athlete on the planet. It's not. I'm not the person who's inventing these concepts. This is not me. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay. I am using the work of other people that I have learned from over the years and apply it to myself, my clients, to you guys. Okay, this is not my brainchildren. This sort of strategy works, and this is the reason real athletes who are strong and conditioned, even if they eat massive amounts of food, have no trouble stripping away 5 pounds of body fat whenever they need to. Because of this reason, because your energy turnover is so high, it's not a big deal for you to cut down to 3,000 or 3,500 calories or whatever for a few weeks. Drop a few pounds of fat, and then go right back to maintaining. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.